Hi, wrestling fans, and welcome to another scintillating edition of AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I am Hall of Famer Mad Matt Carter, being joined up by as always. Here we go. Bob Saget,
Mm.
help me now. Uh, Being joined by Hall of Famers Brian and Reagan Danzig. How are you guys today?
Good, tired. We were out late last night with Ivanhoe and then Denny's. So
Where in the world
look,
did you find a Denny's at that
there
time of night?
it's on the Fort Chiswell exit with one of those truck stops
Oh,
with
okay.
the Flying J. Yeah, it's attached to the Flying J. It was a nice one, very fancy. Service wasn't even too terrible. Food was great. So
Was there an upcharge for eggs? Did y'all buy
no,
eggs? Okay,
No,
no.
no, it was just it was relatively, I don't know if it seemed cheap because it was just us two and we don't have the children, or if it was really cheap. It's pretty cheap. Yeah, it was very reasonable. I was happy. I hadn't eaten a Denny's in forever, since like right before the pandemic and coming home from Asheville.
Oh, wow.
But the Ivanhoe show, yeah. So we didn't get home till like 1 o'clock in the morning.
So, any interesting developments that came out of Ivanhoe right now? From
Well,
last
we
night?
saw Matt Anderson was there, and so he caused some mischief, to say the least. He came out beginning of the show whining about his last loss in Ivanhoe, and so he took on the ICW Southeastern champ Austin Campbell that night for the title, and so there was a. I'm sure I don't want to give it away the ending, but you know when Rick puts it up, it's got an interesting ending. So,
Oh, wow.
and then it was we had some technical difficulties because we don't run those things there because
Hmm.
that's JD, that's the Tennessee group, that
Hmm.
comes down to ICW, and so they bring their own music and stuff, and we just record. So there were some technical difficulties, to say the least, with the microphone. So, but all in all, great show, good crowd, a lot of Mount Airy people there. So it was fun. It's fun up there. It's it's just a different vibe than Mount Airy, but
Yeah.
it's fun, definitely. And then Jeff Paul was there for that pole gold on the pole match, which was excellent.
Explain that. Gold on a pole. How does that work?
So it was a little bitty green bag of gold coins, and
Oh,
then it
Kind of
was
a
Hunt.
kind
Paul,
of a St. Patrick's Day themed
uh,
match.
I got
mhm.
you. Okay.
Jeff Paul not popular at
No,
all. Hard to
no,
Be
believe.
a
I
big
can't imagine
surprise.
why.
So it was fun. You should check it out if you're around the area and haven't come. It's fun. So it's like once we get started, it'll be every weekend after an AIWF show, I think. I think it's
Hmm.
like AIWF show, Ivanhoe, AIWF, Ivanhoe, back and forth. From what I remember.
I'm going to try and find this schedule real quick. The reason I was asking you about upcharge for eggs is because uh, we went into one of our local diners here, mom and pop places, the other day, and they had a sign on the door saying they were charging 50 cents upcharge per egg, and it's the same if you go to Biscuitville. There's a fifty cents upcharge for egg now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the Biscuitville, and there's one other place too. I can't remember right offhand where it is, but yeah, I know there's one other fast food breakfast place that's doing a charge on eggs.
Yeah, I didn't
around
notice.
here, maybe Bojangles or Hardee's. Those are the real popular ones.
Yeah, I didn't notice. I went to Bojangles
Did you get anything?
Saturday, and I didn't notice it being more expensive than usual.
Hmm.
But again, if it was just a few cents more, I may not have noticed.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I didn't see any signs saying that they were upcharging.
See, U.S. to import eggs from Turkey and South Korea to ease prices. It says here.
Wow.
Hmm.
I would the logistics of shipping eggs fascinates me.
Yeah.
Like,
How can you get them from Turkey and South Korea? Those places are so far away.
I don't know, and keep them from. I don't know. I'm sure they got it figured out. That's very interesting. Um, hmm.
I'm reading in something in the Economic Times. I know this isn't wrestling related, but it is interesting because of eggs. That is
Yeah,
one thing I never thought that this country would ever have an issue with. Because shoot, there's millions of chickens in this country.
yeah.
Let's see. United States is facing a sharp increase in egg prices due to severe bird flu outbreak that has decimated poultry flocks. To tackle the crisis, the Trump administration has decided to import millions of eggs from Turkey and South Korea. This move aims to ease the financial burden on American households as its egg prices remain historically high. 65% they skyrocketed in 2024 and another 41% in 2025.
It's just one of those things too. Like, like during the pandemic, you couldn't get toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a gas. Remember a few years before that, there was a gas issue, and like we were at Sam's and people were filling up like barrels full of gas. But I don't remember what caused that one. Was it a pipeline that went down or something?
That particular one, it was one of those things where they were like, there's an issue, but if everybody doesn't run out and go hoard gas, we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then
everybody
upon hearing that, people immediately went out and started hoarding gas, and then so gas stations were short.
So America does like to hoard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I went the opposite direction because we had, fortunately, when the pandemic broke out, we had just bought a ton of toilet paper from Sam's. So I started hoarding bacon. And so every time I went to the supermarket, I'd buy bacon and put it in the freezer. And we just finished it up a couple weeks ago.
We were lucky too, because we had Sam's. We were able to get toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Riveting conversation.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Lord.
I think I'm boycotting eggs right now, though. I feel funny about eating eggs from Turkey or South Korea, man. There's something about that just don't seem.
They're probably better.
Safe.
They're probably better.
Yeah.
Those places have have stricter policies, I'm sure, about things like that. So,
yeah.
But we'll see. Interesting. I don't know. I'll eat them.
I don't know if we'd be able to tell the difference, honestly.
No.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Other interesting wrestling news. The AIWF Mid-Atlantic is going to be back in action on April 5th. Coming up soon. Here's the schedule for the rest of the year. Let's take a look at that. I was about to pull it up when I got distracted by that egg article.
Yeah, this April 5th is Spring Jam. Starting off running.
Yeah, boy. All right. And so April the 5th, that's not next Saturday, but the Saturday after. And then skip about a month to May 3rd. And then just like you were saying, Reagan, very next Saturday, Ivanhoe. And then back in Ivanhoe on June 14th, back in Mount Airy, June 21st, July 12th in Ivanhoe, July 19th in Mount Airy. Then it switches back August 16th. That'll probably be Deal with the Steel in Mount Airy. And then August 23rd in Ivanhoe, and so on and so forth for the rest of the year. So
lots of wrestling, lots of indie wrestling.
Tons of indie wrestling. And you see different stars on each kind of card. I mean, there's some of the same people, right? Like Ty Tyson generally goes to both places. Jeff Paul goes to both places. But, I mean, you see some guys from Tennessee that you don't normally see in Mount Airy. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, correct. They have last night it seemed to be about half and half between AIWF guys and ICW guys and gals. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun up there.
Yeah. So look forward.
We haven't had a fire department call yet.
Not yet.
I keep waiting because it's in a fire department, like an active fire department.
Yeah, but I mean they have the trucks outside and everything. So
yeah.
They can run the call.
They still got to grab all their crap to put on.
Oh yeah. That would be interesting. Right there in the middle of the wrestling show. And now that we've spoken, it's going to happen, right?
Yeah, probably so.
So have you guys seen Raw, the John Cena incident on Raw this past week?
I have not. I've been busy at work, and so like I come home and then I crash.
Yeah.
Um, the only thing I've seen is the thing from SmackDown that you told me to watch, the Jade Cargill
Hmm.
thing. But so I'm sorry, we're not prepared for Raw this week, but we
Well,
will give our opinions without watching. So
yeah,
like
well,
America
no, we're
always.
not going to do that. We're not going to come. That's it's too much of the internet is giving opinions on something they've never seen.
And that's what I said, like America, that's our thing, give our opinion without researching or looking at it.
I was talking
Um,
to a guy one time about Splash Mountain at Disney World years ago, right? And I said, "That's
mhm.
too bad that Disney don't put out Song of the South on Blu-ray, but they're scared of the backlash from it." And he goes, "Well, it's a racist movie." And I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Have you ever seen it?" And he went, "No." I'm like, "How the fuck do you know if it's racist then if you hadn't seen it, imbecile?" And so, and I remember seeing it when I was a little kid, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. But it's just, yeah, I don't want to come in a place, something like that from a place of ignorance. But yeah, if you get a chance, look up the clip. They have, I think, the full clip on YouTube on
Okay.
WWE. And so, but John Cena, I thought, gave a pretty bone chilling type speech Monday night. Cody Rhodes came out and confronted him and said called him a bitch and said he wanted to see the old John Cena, and Cena blamed the fans. He said he's been in an abusive relationship for 25 years and
Oh, I did see that part.
they
I
booed
did see
him.
that part, and there was a kid. They showed a kid who was like really upset looking. So
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty bad. And
I
he even turned on the people wearing his merch. I mean, it
I
was
and because you think about the last time there was a babyface heel turn that the world thinks is the biggest deal was Hogan and
yeah.
WCW. When you think about it, as somebody who spent the majority of their WWE and WWF career being like the face of the company, and well, because it's very similar, but I just think John Cena, from the things I have seen, is just better and more. It's more compelling.
Yeah, and it's weird too because if you think about like the eras, let's start go back with Hogan. Hogan came to the WWF in 1984, and it first run he had was awesome. He was champion for over 3 years up until 1988. He won it in December of '84, or wait a minute, no, January of '84, and lost it in February of '88. So that's 4 years. He was
Mhm.
champion. Not that's one title reign. And we used to think, man, after Flair had it for about 2 years, we're like, man, is anybody going to be able to get this thing off of him at least for a little while, And and then you go in, and then in the '90s, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Psycho Sid, it kind of bounced around by different people. Then the early 2000s came around. In late '90s, Stone Cold Steve Austin. But I mean, he won the championship in '98 and retired in '03. So that's a pretty short time,
Huh.
right?
I did not realize it was that short.
Yeah, he retired after WrestleMania in 2003 or after WrestleMania 19. And then you think about like Cena coming on the scene. He came on the scene in like '02, '03, somewhere there, won the US title at WrestleMania in '04, and then won the world title in '05. '05 is 20 years ago.
Sure, I don't want to.
20 years ago. Did you just think about it? I know it makes you feel old because you
Yeah,
are.
and it doesn't seem like that long ago.
No, but
Yeah.
comparatively to the other big names in WWE history in my lifetime, John Cena was on top by far the longest.
Yes.
I
Because
mean,
even people, it was so long that in that one stretch, people were like, you could tell people were getting a little tired of it.
hmm
Um, but yeah, it's a shocking thing, and because I mean, he started as a bad guy, right? Like
yes.
with the original Hustle and Flow or whatever it was, um, and then the crowd just started liking him and things like that. So it's very interesting because of a lot of people talk about that he was in what is it called? Not March of Dimes. Help me out
Make a
here.
wish.
Make a
Make a
wish.
Wish, and he was such a big part of that. So it's interesting to see kid reactions to
Mhm.
this turn. So
Yeah, well, they wanted to shake things up. It's like I remember that night my neighbors were over here watching Elimination Chamber with me, and man, when Cena hugged Cody and his face dropped, I just went, "Oh no!" You know, like, but it was way cooler than I ever could have imagined. I feel bad for the little kids. Did you see the video? The video that went around with the guy holding the baby that was crying, and he was holding and kept looking at the TV and would just turn the kid would bury their face in daddy's shirt,
no,
stand looking at
I'll
him.
have to look. That's sad.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Dad was kind of looking at mom like smiling, giving her a wink, when he wasn't looking. But I'm glad they recorded that for posterity because that was way better than the little kid crying when Bailey turned.
Oh
And
yeah.
took that axe to the balloons or the wavy guys and cut them down.
Uh-huh.
And there was the video where they were showing it, and the camera turns around, and the little kid's going, ah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a big, big, big turn. I'm interested to see. My prediction, I'll go ahead and go on record here. Let's put it down. March 23rd, 2025. I am predicting John Cena will beat Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania and win the title for the 17th time. And it'll be sleazy and it'll leave a bad taste in all our mouths. Even us older fans,
Mhm.
you
Yeah, I agree. 'Cause I feel like I think that's where we're going with this. I mean, I keep thinking about like what Eddie Guerrero would cheat to win, cheat to win.
Mhm.
So I think it'd be a great match. I mean, um, Cena's still in really good shape. So I know we haven't, I would, we sort of saw him in action. So I think I'm excited to see this. I will watch, I usually try to watch WrestleMania and stuff. So
Well, we don't have any wrestling shows booked around it, so that's good as
that's
far as I know.
good. Yeah, because everything's on there. Because AEW wise, they were doing something very similar with Jeff Jarrett, and it was so poorly. Like people didn't care, so they just dropped it. And now Jeff Jarrett's not even on TV. He's just working in the back now, which is funny because he was doing almost the same thing, just the same thing, and then they dropped it. So I thought that was interesting.
Oh well, who knows?
Oh, Sis Suzuki is in there. I want to say hey to her. I've heard that she has upcoming match, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
I'm very excited to hear that.
Yep, very glad.
Excited.
Thanks for watching, sis. Good to have you with us. We miss you at the live events very much. Let me go from that and being very overjoyed to hear that sis is on board with us today to some crass capitalism. And let me pay some few bills, but I promise you, you're going to like what you see here. First off, I'd like to tell you about Tees Creations Custom Apparel, one of our longtime sponsors. Check out these new designs for the summer. This is taken right off the website. Now, I don't think these are Mount Airy girls posing for these pictures. I'm just saying. But if you can everybody see? Uh-oh.
Oh, wait. Can I see it? Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
So check out the new sweet tea design. There's history there. Salty air, sandy toes, summer vibes at the ballpark is where I spend most of my days. Oh, I love it. And some more new designs. Softball mom, like a normal mom, but louder and prouder. And it's a sports theme. You can take a look. These are some of the general designs, but they can do custom jobs for you too. You can check them out at teescreations22.com. Tees Creations by Allied Apparel on Facebook, TikTok at Tees Creation, and on Shopify. So I wish Rick Diesel were here with us. Maybe tell us how to find them on Shopify. But anyway, there it is. Tees Creations, new summer designs. Check them out at teescreations22.com. And I think they do a Facebook Live and sometimes some live stuff on TikTok. So definitely going to check them out. What I'm about to show you now is going to make you hungry. Big D's Grill up with these new, he put out some new photos last week. And oh my goodness, that cheesesteak looks lovely. good looking burger here. That looks like a burger and a chicken patty on one sandwich. Is that not
Yeah.
crazy? That's like something that, on a secret menu at Arby's. But look at this beast right here. Look at that burger with those pickles and those red onions. It looks like chili and slaw. 2 slices of cheese, a patty down there, lettuce, tomato. He's even got a skewer down the middle of it because there's no way you could pick this thing up with your hands and hold it all together. But Big D's Grill is a food truck that operates in Surrey County area. And man, oh man, look at them wings and those crispy fries. Those kind of wings just melt in your mouth, and those fries, man, I like the crinkle cut because they're nice and crisp on the outside, and nice and toasty and warm and soft on the inside. Delicious food from Big D's Grill, and you should check them out whenever they're around town. Look at the there's another wings and fries. It might be the same picture, but the chili cheese fries. Oh goodness sakes! Oh man, it's just and I don't know if that's just fries or yeah, I think it is just fries. But he's got hot dogs, French fries, even got desserts. I don't know what these are, Reagan, but they sure look good. Brian, I don't know what those are.
I think they're the donuts. They're just laid on each
Oh,
other, kind of. I think they're the donuts, the Rice Krispie and Fruity Pebble mini donuts.
oh, okay. So there you can see, just be on the lookout. Follow them on Facebook, Big D's Grill. Now, Philly cheesesteak, chicken tenders, chicken wings, burgers, hot dogs, French fries. You got it all, man. So check them out. Big D's Grill. All right. So I guess something else that we should probably talk about that's going on around the wrestling businesses on AEW this past week. This certainly made the internet aghast with the match between John Moxley and Edge, Adam Copeland. And evidently a cricket bat was what we thought originally were steel spikes, but Jim Cornette doesn't think so. I'll tune you to his review, which is available on YouTube now. But I just, I remember a day when TBS would have a real problem with something like that, but those same days seem to be long gone.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and like Brian had some good points, like because I was asking him, since he's kind of the hardcore expert on the panel, what he thought about it, and what like.
Well, I was just my final verdict, I guess, on it is it's not something I would do, and I didn't really enjoy watching it. It was just a little too graphic for me, but at the same time, he's done it before, and he didn't get seriously injured by doing it. And so I'm not good. There are things that when I see people do, I'm like, nobody should do that. You just should not do that. It's too dangerous for anybody to do. And then there's things that I'm like, well, I wouldn't do that, but if he could do it and do it safely, then go ahead. And so that's kind of my verdict on it. Is I'm not going to say that he shouldn't do it, but at the same time, I wouldn't do it myself.
The crowd was into it.
Mm-hmm.
They were really into it. They really liked it. I don't know about the bat. I had the same questions about the bat, but they did a lot of close-ups. They look like those big gray nails. So I don't know. I mean, you could definitely see the puncture marks. There were like 3 or 4, where it was actually, I don't know if you saw the part where they were pulling it out of his skin.
I did. I did. Check this out. Here's some video, Ringside video. It looks like somebody shot this from Ringside with their phone. But here it is, right onto the spikes. Oh.
Like it wasn't even that. It's when they were pulling it out of his back. That was the part that was really too much to watch.
Right.
And it was funny because I don't remember seeing like any kind of extra like warning on it. I think it still said violence and stuff, but I don't know. I would have thought there was a different. I don't know. There wasn't even that much blood from it.
No.
I mean, there was, some, but like it wasn't gushing out. So I don't know. I think, I know Cornette hates hardcore stuff in general. I was telling Brian, my worry is if it is a gimmicked um, uh, bat thing, cricket thing, my worry is that some kid, when Brian and I are talking about this too, that some kid's going to try this spot, but then is that really their responsibility? Like, they can't, just like we were talking about that WWE used to have those warnings at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think because some kid broke their neck or something. But I don't know. Brian didn't think it was their responsibility. And I kind of agree.
Right. Because, I mean, kids, again, kids can get hurt body slamming each other.
Yeah.
You can get seriously injured just doing regular wrestling moves to each other as kids.
I remember when Jackass first came out, the TV show Jackass on MTV, which was, if you were around in the late 90s, early 2000s, and were young, it was a big part of your youth, at least for boys. I don't know.
I love Jackass.
I never understood why more women didn't want to watch with all that gratuitous male nudity. I mean,
because women don't really want to see that.
It was just man candy flying all over the place. But anyway, you remember they did a bit and it got banned, but I remember seeing it when it originally aired. It was called The Human Barbecue. And what they did was they put Johnny Knoxville in his head to toe in a flame retardant suit, right? I mean, like he had Hollywood stunt people there. I mean, this thing was safe, man. It was safe. And they constructed a giant grill, right? And put charcoal in it, got a good fire going. And then they took fish hooks and hooked steaks to Johnny all over Knoxville's body. And he laid on the grill and they cooked the steaks and they actually ate them. He would just turn over and stuff. And it was a really funny bit. And I was like, wow, that was, really well done. Well, a few weeks later, a video surfaced of some dumb little kid in his backyard, and he gets on he lights a fire in Dad's grill and lays on top of it, and then it burns him, and he runs and jumps in the pool and suffers 3rd-degree burns. So they ended up, taking that bit off it. It's not even on the DVD. You can't find it anymore. It's nowhere to be found on the internet, and I just feel like I was fortunate to see it when it aired. So
I know, and it's like I understand sort of, but like I do love Jackass. I don't know why I'm complaining about what John Moxley did. I don't know. It really the thing that was too much was the pulling it out. Like that was what was like. I did not want to see that. That was a lot to do because it was very like gratuitous. Like I feel like
it was very graphic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And but wrestling's different than Jackass. That was a stunt show and a prank show. That landing on something sharp doesn't seem like much of a stunt to me because there's no way you can do it. Like there's no good ending. You know what I mean? If that stuff would have went a couple of inches further into his body, I mean, it could have punctured a vital organ or something like that, And even if Cornette's right and the spikes were plastic, they still punctured his body.
Yeah. That's why I don't think they were plastic. It's not like the hack days in WCW where he would come up with that barbed wire and they would get too close and you would see that there were absolutely no barbs on it.
Oh, wow.
But Brian was also talking about, I feel like I'm interviewing you, about what people thought you did that went too far.
Yeah, because I could, there were people back when I was doing my thing saying that I was going too far.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh yeah, I remember
that. I can't, there's only so much I can say for, because I would, but I mean, I can make, but the thing is, they have the right to say I'm going too far.
Mm-hmm.
They can, if their opinion is I'm going too far, then okay, that's your opinion. And then I can state my opinion of why I think you shouldn't use fluorescent light bulbs.
Mm-hmm.
And I can give that argument. Somebody could say, well, why do you think you can roll around in barbed wire, but somebody shouldn't use fluorescent bulbs? Well, because barbed wire doesn't have a neurotoxin on it. That's my argument. Is barbed wire can cut me. I might even need stitches, but mercury isn't going to get in my bloodstream.
Yeah.
So that's my reasoning, and you can disagree with it, but that's just how it is.
Remember, kids, mercury is great in thermometers and great to play with in science class under supervised conditions because it has some funny properties to it. It'll run away from you. But it's not good in the lungs. No, it doesn't belong there. No. Play with mercury in safe environments. Look
because
at Granny's thermometer. Play with it in science class.
Because it also gets super sharp. And that's what happened with David Arquette.
Yeah.
And then I think even Nick Gage has been cut really severely with light bulbs. So there's just so much that's bad about them. Like, I know people think like this, I guess the sound of them and the smoke, or not smoke, the powder going everywhere is cool looking, but
oh yeah, it's a great effect. But I mean, it looks great, but it's the ramifications of it that are the issue. So I mean, it's just not the effect to me is not worth the risk.
Yeah, I agree 110%. And speaking of stupid stuff, Reagan, you sending me these videos during the week not only cheers me up if I'm having a bad day, but it gives us content.
Oh, good. I'm sometimes worried. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sending too much stuff to Matt. But sometimes when I'm sitting around like at lunch and stuff and these pop up, I'm like, I have to show somebody. This is terrible. This right here is terrible.
Yeah, watch this.
Ugh.
Now, I guess this guy, Malik Kelly, is making comments about what he saw and how dumb it was.
Yeah, he's just saying that guy's neck is going to be like that forever.
Yeah, but I want to show it again. Look at this. Oh, how I wonder is there any way we can find out if he suffered any kind of permanent injury?
I don't know. Would have to. I don't even know because who knows how old the clip is. There's an X in the background, but
I don't see how you couldn't have permanent injury from that. Somebody just stomping with both feet on the side of your head,
and where your neck was, it was almost like a guillotine. Like, how do you not hurt those vertebrae? I mean, just stupid shit. As you can see, there's light bulb stuff everywhere.
Yeah. That's why when I pulled it up, I was like, "Oh, this is good talk right here," because there's light bulbs involved in this. I'll never forget remember the Drive Brothers show?
Yes.
In Worth, were y'all there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That was terrible. Remember were you there for that?
Yes.
And they did it right.
Yeah, because right before it happened, I covered my eyes with my hands and I could feel the glass hitting my hands. I was like, well, good thing I put my hands up or my eyes would be full of glass right now.
Because we were just watching, right? Were we watching?
No, I was behind the commentator's table.
Yeah.
So it flew from across the table into my face.
I guess
I had my face covered. Yeah, I think you were still in the crowd at that point.
I was filming it, and I was filming it for Star News because I was there at filming it for Star News. And when he swung back with those light bulbs, I kept the camera pointed toward it, but I turned and covered my eyes too. And Brian, like you, I could feel it like you were standing out in a light drizzle. The stuff hitting your back.
I remember all the powder and how thick the powder was. What was super, besides that being dangerous, they did it right in front of the front row.
Mm-hmm.
Right in front of them.
Yeah, it wasn't in the ring. It was on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were dangerous. I don't remember much about them other than that they were dangerous.
Yeah. So, no regard for the audience whatsoever,
Yeah.
But
what
we're talking about, let me describe it for people who weren't there, kind of leaving them behind. So these two guys came, they were brothers, but they were in a feud with each other, and they had a hardcore match. and one of them brought a bunch of fluorescent light bulbs. Brian, I'd say it was probably a dozen, and it was a big, big bundle of them, wasn't it?
It was,
And
yes.
they brought them, and they were taped with like two-sided tape, and around the middle, and then some near the end of the match. They were fighting on the outside, right in front of the crowd and the commentary table and everything. And one of them hit the other one with this bundle of fluorescent bulbs, and I mean, dust and debris and glass just went everywhere. I mean, it was just absolutely horrible. And yeah, they never got invited back to any wrestling shows around here after that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened to them. I hope they're still alive. But if they took that show, let me almost say wrestling drive.
I wish AC was still in there. He might know. Just because he had his ears to the ground for people. But I think AC left. That was terrible. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I know that some things seem dangerous, but it's like I don't want anything where it's the possibility of actually getting hurt.
Right.
You're not going to get hurt from thumbtacks. I mean, not, they're going to hurt.
Right. They're going to be painful.
But you're not going to go to the hospital over it. Same thing. Well, you had the barbed wire incident, but like just the barbed wire, like on the chair or tables were not too bad.
Well, and even though, I got stitches, I mean, it left a scar, but it didn't, it wasn't like
it wasn't going to break your neck.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I could walk just fine. I didn't have any kind of permanent injury that is going to, affect my mobility or anything like that.
Tell you what, you and Terminator X came close though at the very first Extreme Content.
Oh yeah, that wasn't
that match. Like, man, I remember here's the stipulation, folks. No ropes barbed wire match, but Brian and Terminator X wrapped their arms up to their elbows in barbed wire as well. And it went horribly wrong. And I remember walking before, because we had to take an intermission because we had to take the ropes down and put the barbed wire up. And I came to the back and saw you, and I saw Terminator X pacing, getting ready for that match. And I just remember this feeling of dread coming over me. Like, oh no, there's no turning back now. We've been building this match for weeks and we got to deliver, but God.
It was the wrong type of barbed wire, right?
Yes.
That was the issue.
Yeah. The problem was it was a low. I don't know how the gauges go, but it was a smaller barb, and the smaller the barb, the more likely it is to be sharper and to actually go into you.
Yeah.
Like a bigger gauge is, it may cut you, but it's less likely to puncture, and it's less likely to slice you, deeply. But yeah, it was just it was a different kind of barbed wire than I worked with before, and yeah, I think that was the issue with that match. Not to say that it wouldn't have gone badly either way, but it made it worse that we had the smaller barbs on the barbed wire.
Yeah, I felt like, because I grew up in a Baptist church, I honestly felt like I had legitimately committed a sin, and a bad one, by promoting this match because of how bad it went.
I don't know. Were we together then? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't either. I remember watching it, but and everybody makes decisions that aren't the best when it comes to stuff. But again, that's not going to break your neck.
No, but it's only a matter of time before Rick Diesel finds it in the archive, and I'm sure it's going to come out. Unless y'all want us not to air it, but I would love just to be able to post it for posterity's sake, to say, "Hey kids, don't ever do anything like this. Look how bad it went." It's just because that Drive Brothers match, I can't find it anywhere. I'm scouring the internet right now and I cannot find it. So
I guess it's good. I don't know. It's just, Mm.
It's rough, man. It's
It
rough
It
is.
out there.
is.
We can go. I guess I could go on Twitter and see if I can find any wrestling botches real quick. Uh, but yeah, so but coming up in a couple of weeks, join us in Mount Airy for Spring Jam. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're looking forward to having you there, wrestling botches. Hopefully, we can find out some announcements of upcoming matches. Is Justin Flash going to be there? And if so, is he going to defend the title?
Yeah. I think the booking committee is, going through all that stuff right now. So hopefully we should have some matches announcements soon. So,
Oh my God!
but
Here we go. Here we go. I found one for you. You'll probably have to edit it off YouTube, but this is funny. Watch this.
what? Ugh. Oh, AAA.
Yeah.
That was just good.
I don't
Like,
know what he was hoping to happen there.
Right.
I get, okay, so it's supposed to be a moonsault, but it
Oh,
ends up.
okay. He instead of springing back, he ended up springing almost straight up.
Do you remember when Chris Tenney was at the pool with us?
Yes,
He did
the
that.
same-
He
yeah.
did the same thing. We were He was doing moonsaults into the pool because I think he was practicing his moonsault, and he just went straight up, flipped, and went straight down and scraped all the skin off his chest.
Oh,
I wish he was still on the thing. I don't think he's there anymore. But yeah, that was interesting. So,
Mhm.
but because I thought maybe he lost a nipple, but he didn't. So, thought I
oh.
had sent. Maybe those are the only ones I've sent you today. This
Here,
week.
I can look. Hang on, I found another one here. I think
We
you'll
should
get a
just
kick.
this should be our last segment of our show to come up with crap that. What is this? Ugh, he missed.
Oh,
Ugh.
Ugh.
Oh, Darby Allin. It's just all AEW stuff. No, that looks like TNA.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, because it's ugh.
gnarly.
Oh Willie Matt. Ugh. But
Oh
that
no.
also shows that even people on the big leagues can, shit happens. Hmm. That one went too bad. These are. I just, like I said, you can get hurt doing anything in wrestling. The only times I've ever been hurt are doing regular things. And
Totally
so I
gonna get
broke my
popped for
nose that
copyright.
time. Broke my nose that time and had a black eye. And we went to the place. We went to the Bluebird Diner, formerly Bluebird Diner in Mount Airy, and our waitress was not very nice to Brian when I had my black eye. She
Yeah.
slammed his drink down and stuff and was very, very not nice to him. And I should have been like, I'm a wrestler. That's what happened. But
She didn't believe you though. Yeah.
she wouldn't have, no.
Uh,
But yeah, so.
oh mercy. All right. Well, let's see here. Let me try to make everybody hungry again. Let me see. Give me the PowerPoint and from current slide. Let me share my screen after we watch. Yeah, maybe we ought to make the last segment every week the botch watch.
I know. Oh, that's a good saying. That's a good name too. Botch watch.
Botch watch. So we have to try. We had all right. So all right. Here's the thing, folks. I'm going to need your help with that. So what I want you to do is if you are friends with me on Facebook and you find a good botch clip, send it to me via Messenger. If you're not friends with me, I'm not adding anymore. But you can send them to Reagan and Brian and or Rick Diesel, and we'll try to compile them for you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's in my algorithm now. So that, and I guess where I read an article about Darby Allen. He's training now for Everest. So now in my algorithm, I have a bunch of stuff of people in the death zone of Mount Everest, which is very interesting.
And
Also,
we're going to talk about that on the other side because that's important to talk about. Everest. All right, let me tell you about T's Treats. They're the concessionaire at AIWF Mid Atlantic Wrestling, and they also operate a food truck, maybe multiple food trucks actually, that mull around the Piedmont Triad area, based in Mount Airy. You can give them a call at 336-755-8204 to find out where they're going to be. The best sweet treats in the world. Diabetic shock coming your way with most of this stuff, but it's awesome. It's great. It's just wonderful food and a great value. Again, 336-755-8204. And you can find more information on Facebook. Just search T's Treats. And they are all over the place. Big yellow food truck, dogs, hamburgers, chicken sandwiches, and all the sugary goodness you can imagine. So check them out. T's Treats. Also, Secondhand Heroes is a comic and video game enthusiast type store. I always say, imagine Stewart's comic shop on The Big Bang Theory if it wasn't just so sad. This is a happy place. You can get your nerd on. They have Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. They have comics, video games, action figures, whatever. And they have table space available for Magic the Gathering games and D&D campaigns. I mean, they have a regular night D&D campaign that's been running for a long time now. They host video game competitions, everything. You want to find out how to get involved or go over there and play some games and have some fun. They're located at 18184 Leesville Road in Evington, Virginia. That's in the Lynchburg area, that around the Hill City. And you can call them at 434-317-0121 or shoot them an email with any questions at secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Remember, the second is abbreviated, so it's 2ND. Don't spell it out. Number 2, letter N is in Nancy, D is in David. Or D is in Delta. Secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. But the best thing you can do is pick up the phone and just ask. 434-317-0121. That is Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains up there in the Lynchburg area. And they are the best place to get your nerd on. All right. So, Darby Allen is determined to go on Mount Everest, which I think is going to be the death of him, honestly. I mean,
he says he's going to plant an AEW flag too. So we'll see. Hopefully, I've been, like I said, it's been up on my algorithm and stuff, and so some of that stuff they show like the bodies that are up there that are named stuff like green sneakers or green. And then the Sleeping Beauty, and those are really creepy. So I guess that'll be the wrestler. Like, I don't know what just, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
if you can go on YouTube and watch a bunch of documentaries about Mount Everest. And if you want to, you can Google search dead bodies on Mount Everest.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, green sneakers up. And that person's been up there since what, the 90s, I think?
Yes. And the other thing that is interesting about it from the things I've been watching is all the trash. People just leave their trash and their tents and everything up there. And that's it. And so it's like they just say it's just lines of people and trash everywhere. So it's interesting to see that aspect of it, because you would think it was just pure pristine snow, and like every once in a while you'd come across a dead person and stuff. So it's interesting. It's fascinating.
Nepal has turned that into a tourist industry, and that's what it is, because you can only go up there in May and June.
Yeah,
the only time it's safe.
And they also have packages where you can just go to like the foot to like the foot of the mountains base camp, and
Mhm.
like normal people can go there. Like,
Yeah.
because I was like, well, do you think that's what Darby Allin's doing? Just doing that normal thing. I don't know. Maybe I should have that much like, um, not like maybe it's nice to not have fear. Like maybe that makes you a free person if you don't have that fear, or it can make you a dumbass. So who knows?
No, you need a healthy dose of fear. You need to not have no fear. You don't. You need to have a balance.
Because I've just always read and heard that these people that train for Everest, like, are just they train for years,
Hmm.
and stuff. And it seems like he's doing I don't know. And we'll just have to see. It'll be very, very interesting either way, I guess. So.
Well, Everest is the tallest mountain on the face of the earth. So it's like people like there's all these there's like 7 summits across the earth that are like the hardest mountains to climb, and Everest is the king of the hill. Darby Allin has no mountain climbing experience. I mean, and you can
Right.
train all you want, but don't you think you want? I mean, Darby, come to North Carolina. Start with Grandfather Mountain. Then try Mount Rogers in Virginia, because that's the tallest mountain east of the Mississippi.
And
right?
then Mount Rainier on the West Coast.
Yes, Mount Rainier is a good. People do train for Everest on Mount Rainier, honestly, but Mount Rainier kills a few every year itself, because Mount Rainier is no joke, and it is an active volcano. So, I mean, there's plenty of ways for it to kill you. I mean, it's not just the danger of hiking up a mountain with Mount Rainier. I mean, the creeks and streams can flood with little to no warning. Well, you're standing at the pearly gates. Well, I mean, it was a clear day. We were going up Mount Rainier, and I heard a rumble, and the next thing I know, man, I saw a wall of water, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you look at Mount Rainier, like if you go to their park website and stuff, and it's telling you about their warnings about the hiking trails, they actually have signs up. It's like, if you feel an earthquake or rumble, do not stand here. This is a flood zone.
Yeah.
And so, or try something. Go up Mount St. Helens. People climb that all the time. If you want to climb a dangerous volcano, that's even safer than Mount Rainier, because they have a trail that pretty much goes all the way up to the top. Now, you have to get a permit, so they don't have that many people up there on one day, but that'd be a nice one to try. I don't know.
I'm just like, oh, I want to get up so I can hike up to Hanging Rock. Like, that's what I want to. That's my thing. Is I want to hike up there, and that's a rough one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and see, there's plenty of other mountains to start on. He just wants to go for the biggest and the best first, and
Right. Yeah, and that's what's so crazy.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, I never met the guy, but I don't have anything against him personally where I'd want him to die.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want him to die. I'm looking at it. There's a picture here. Yeah, this was written back on January 11th. So he's going to have to be gone till at least the end of June, I would say, because you can only climb in May and June. I do know that much about Everest, but I don't know.
We'll see. It'll be interesting. Like I said, it'll be interesting either way. So,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm trying to see if I can find something from a few years ago for us to take a look at. It'd be kind of fun, kind of reminisce.
I just, yeah. The thing that making me think, like, they want Sting to induct Lex Luger. Good Lord. And I would like to see that happen, but I don't know. Uncle Dave says that they shouldn't do it. And now I'm calling him Uncle Dave because I've been listening to Cornette so much.
Did you listen to Cornette? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey,
Uncle Dave and shit stains. Shit stain.
Yeah, Vince Russo. You remember this match, guys? It's Benny Conley against Justin Flash from a while back.
Oh wow, that one is a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those were he put on some good matches. Yeah, I was in the crowd during this time. I don't know. Were you doing commentary at this time?
Probably. Yeah, I started pretty soon after when we started coming back.
It sucks you in. You can never quit.
Yeah.
Yep.
You think you're done and you're not,
Look how
which I guess
crystal.
is
Look how crystal clear that picture is. That's the difference between hooking your camera up to the computer with a hard wire as opposed to just loading it up on YouTube with a Wi-Fi.
mm-hmm.
Which, you know, when you airdrop Apple devices together, the picture's pretty clear too. But I don't
Yeah, I
have an
think
Apple. I don't have an Apple PC. That might be going to change. But Justin Flash and Benny Conley, Flash was already the champion here, I believe, or very close to becoming the champion. This might have been before he won it. I'm not sure. It was along that same time period.
right.
And Justin Flash has been champion now for what, 2 years? Almost 3.
Has it been 2 years? Man, time goes by quick.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he won
'cause
it in 23 in a deal with the Steel, I believe.
that's crazy. So yeah, there's a Fighters Club
Yeah, that's one
guy.
of the guys from the Fighters Club. Oh, there's JAC. Oh, and Reggie turns around, catches Flash with the chair. Benny Conley's down. And he calls for the DQ. Classic Eddie Guerrero type stuff.
Yeah,
Benny Conley's laughing at him. I hope Benny's doing all right. I know he was out. He's been out with an injury for a while.
oh wow. I was wondering where he had been. So that's bad to hear.
Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, but yeah, last I heard he was out with an injury. So I don't know if you're out there, Benny. I hope you're feeling better. But and hope to see you around the wrestling ring again soon. But anyway, so that's about all the different topics I've got. Well, we didn't talk about the Jade Cargill situation. They had her in a match with Liv Morgan on SmackDown, and you guys got a chance to watch. Brian, I don't know if you did, but I know Reagan did.
I did. I watched it.
I thought that it started off fine, but at
Yes.
the end, Jade looks like she was kind of lost. I thought, just my
I think
opinion.
I think it's also she comes in and they have her do so many big spots, because they're trying to, establish her as a very strong person. And I think she comes in and I think she just does so much in the beginning that it just gasses her out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she starts by the end, she looks tired. And then once she becomes tired, then it does look like that she's getting lost and not exactly knowing what's going on. The match itself was one of the better matches I've seen her do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but we say this every time, like maybe she'll get better, and she never does. So
it reminds me of a story Cornette told one time. He said they went to TV and he was managing Dick Murdoch at the time, along with the Midnight Express, and they looked on the sheet and Murdoch had a cold match against Nikita Koloff listed on the paper. And Nikita was in 1987 was still kind of green. I mean, he was kind of green his whole career, right? No offense, Nikita. Nice guy. I met him. He's a nice fellow, but I mean, not the most highly skilled scientific wrestler there ever was. But it said Murdoch saw that and he sat down and started changing. And he was like, it's gonna be the shits, And Cornette told him, he said, well, you know what, Dick? That's what everybody says. And he says, what? And he said, yeah, that's what everybody in the dressing room is saying. It's gonna be the shits. And he said, they are. And he said, Cornette said Dick Murdoch went out there and had the best 15-minute match with Nikita Koloff he ever had in his career. And I'm thinking, did somebody walk up to Liv Morgan and was like, well, Liv, you've proven yourself worthy in every way possible. Tonight, you got to go one-on-one with Jade, and see if you can get a good match out of her. And I think Liv did her part. I mean, I think Liv more than handled her end of that. But poor Jade, I don't know, maybe too much, too soon, too fast, like Tony Atlas. I don't know. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I think so. I think she was rushed in AEW and WWE, which in WWE is usually not bad for that. Usually if there are people who I'm like, they're ready for the main roster, they've put in their time but they still put them in NXT. And I'm just like, okay, that's just what they do. That's fine. But yeah, putting her on the main roster right away was a mistake.
And it's funny because like Vince had that look of what the men should look like, because big and muscular and things like that. Because and so now it's like Triple H likes the big muscular women, and kind of pushes them when maybe they aren't as good as they look. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they look fantastic, but like their skills are so it's interesting.
Well, I can tell you this: if they have a one-on-one match between Jade Cargill and Naomi at WrestleMania, that is going to be like, it's going to go down in history for how bad it's going to be.
It's going to be on our botch watch conversations.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't think Naomi's good enough to be on her own. Just from watching her, like, I just feel like, I don't know. Maybe this heel turn will help her. I don't know. We'll just have to see, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a WrestleMania match.
She those punches. Jade blocked every one of those punches, and she ended up hitting her on the wrist on Friday night. I mean, so I don't know what's going to happen, but it's it's not making. And see, the thing about it is, I think that Naomi is probably a very nice person, and people want to pull for her and all that kind of stuff. But I've been watching her wrestle for years now, and my opinion has not changed. She was good as a cheerleader for Brodus Clay, but beyond
I forgot that's where she came from.
Yeah, funk is on a roll. Pull up that song on Apple Music and see if it don't get you moving. I mean, I used to love that. It was my favorite segment on Raw there for about 6 months, when I do that funk is on a roll. I'd hear that music hit, and I'd be like, all right, here we go. Somebody call my mama. But I thought she was great in that. But as a wrestler over the years, I don't know. I don't know. I know she tries real hard, and bless her heart for that. And, sure she's great, but I'm sure she's a wonderful human being. But I don't know. Oh no! Bailey posted 3 hours ago. Stranded at a gym in Scotland. Q&A. Use hashtag help.
That was the other. This is talking about being. Moxley drove himself 11 hours to that show because he couldn't get the Dynamite. They were in somewhere where it's still snowing, Nebraska. Okay. And so he couldn't get a flight, so he drove himself 11 hours. So, I mean, at least he's dedicated to his craft. So,
I think that's about it. Time to shut it down.
Yeah, that's it. I can't think of anything else.
All right. Well, I am going to be at the race at Martinsville next week, and then I'm taking a trip the week after that. So this is going to be it for a couple of weeks, unless you and Rick Diesel and y'all guys do something that I know y'all do the Mid-Atlantic reviews. If y'all want to do something as a talk show, I'm going to be unavailable for the next couple of weekends.
All right, we'll see. Well, Mike, this is your thing, so this is your time to shine. I don't want to. We'll see.
Yeah, but just wanted to make everybody aware of that. So come join us April 5th in Mount Airy. We'll make a return to Veterans Park. And, of course, the best concessions in wrestling, Tees Creations, or not Tees Creation, Tees Treats, or Big D's Food Truck. One of them will be there. Maybe both. Who knows? But come on and see us. Come hungry. There's going to be some great action. Lots and lots of fun as we kick off the 2025 wrestling season. So I guess for Brian and Reagan, this is Mad Matt Carter saying, so long for now. Until next time. I fucked it up.
Oh my gosh, Matt.
I'm having a tough time lately, folks. But anyway, till next time, so long for now.